of the Restoring Human podcast, where we believe humans were designed to flourish. Many modern conveniences prevent us from thriving, but through intentional lifestyle decisions, we can return to an optimal state of health. I am your host, Jarek Bakken, today joined by not only Dr. Alex Arguello, but we have a guest today.
Special guest,
Lynn Waterman. So today is actually, if you've been following along, you'll notice that I did not continue sequentially in our order of episodes because this is actually a repeat of episode 10. We had Lynn on once, total technical fail. We're back at it again. Lynn, it's great to have you here.
Thank you. Great to be here, I think.
Hey, this is a picture of kind of what we're trying to teach is you can get completely off with your lifestyle, do things wrong, but then you get a chance to make up for it by changing what you're doing.
I feel like that was just a shot. Once again, we are brought to you by Great River Family Chiropractic. You can go to greatriverfamilychiropractic.com/restoringhuman to receive a free chiropractic consultation. Go ahead and do that. You should definitely do that. All right. So, Lynn.
Hi.
Introduce yourself to us.
I am Lynn Waterman. I am married to Kyle. I have 3 mostly adult children.
What a statement.
And I work as a service coordinator at Independent Senior Apartment Building, and I'm a barista at Dunn Brothers. And I live a really exciting life.
That's good.
Yeah.
So many of our listeners probably know, if they know you and if they saw a little bit of We Want Burpees. That's the comment.
Oh, that was Jim, I bet. No.
Jim Dimmer.
Yeah.
If anybody knows Lynn, they know that you have gone through quite a drastic transformation in your life over the past now 7 months or so.
Yes.
This is true.
I have.
Can you give us maybe like the big picture highlights?
Big picture highlights. In January, probably in December.
You're good.
Okay. I was feeling pretty miserable, sore, tired, lupus, fibromyalgia, osteoarthritis, had gained a lot of weight, which has been a consistent pattern over my lifetime. So it wasn't like that was anything new. It was just, I was one of the heaviest I've been and just tired. Mm-hmm. And something clicked that I needed to do something and get serious about it instead of just wishing for it.
Yeah.
And so in January, I made a commitment to start to eat healthy, exercise, and have lost 75 pounds roughly, almost 80 maybe. Depends on the day. And have been eating a lot better and exercising regularly.
Yeah.
And feel pretty good.
Cool. Take us back to what got you started on this journey.
I would say a couple things, but working with seniors, you see a lot of people with a lot of health issues, and you realize that there's a point where it's never too late to do something, but there's a point of maybe no return or not big results after a certain point. Not wanting to be homebound or just stuck in a chair forever.
Yeah.
I think conviction just about how I profess to live because of my faith, and what I was living as far as eating whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted, and not being active and not doing what I needed to do to be healthy. Just, gluttony, laziness, realizing, there's areas where you can see it. You're raising your kids and you can't have whatever you want when you want, but I was living like I could have whatever I wanted when I wanted.
Sure.
Without worrying about the consequences, but I should have been worrying about the consequences.
Yeah.
So I would say conviction, I would say just an awareness, tired of being tired and sick.
Yeah, for sure. That, the piece about the being around the older folks, that's interesting, because I don't think so.
Did I not mention that last time?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
But, I think it is valid. I think seeing people at the point where, I think we would definitely say that anybody in any situation, there's a best practice in all situations.
Right.
But, yeah, you get to a point where you've created so much damage that, if you're realizing something at age 70, while we might believe people can be 100 and older, if there's 70 years of damage that's been caused, that potential is definitely not as much.
Right. It just gets harder. And you see that. I see seniors that are really, really active, and I see seniors that aren't.
Yeah.
And you could see how hard it would be to even start once you reach a certain point, or to make much of a change.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm seeing something huge in what she said there. So, we've done now a couple months worth of shows, and we're trying to get as much information to people and educate them on what a healthy lifestyle looks like. And one of the things that we're trying to get better and better at is just not just giving information, but also somehow motivating people to be able to take action on what we're actually saying. And what I'm kind of hearing you say is, even though maybe for us, that have been doing it a while, it's might seem easy for people that are listening or looking in at our lives, but it's definitely not something that's easy to do. It's not, change is never easy to make happen. So it wasn't like you just said, I don't really feel good right now, so I want to change. That was part of it, right? You kind of listed off, you were heavier than you wanted to be, you weren't feeling the way you wanted to be, you had even some actual diagnosed health issues that you had. So that was part of what made you want to change. But then you also looked to the future of seeing these people and how they ended up. And you said, I don't want to end up like that. So even though I'm already in maybe a poor state, there's things in the future that I also don't want. So it was kind of all of that coming together for you to finally say, okay, we're going to actually do something about it.
Right. And there's a bunch of little pieces with that. I have a new grandbaby that's a little over a year old. I want to be active with, not be able to get down on the floor, or just normal activity. I want to play with her and run, do things. I want to be active with my family, as adults, and them doing things.
Yeah. Doing
those things.
Yeah, so that could be something maybe practical that people could get from our show today is in those workshops that I do, when I go through mindset of, kind of what's going to help you implement this stuff the best, we always talk about having what's called a big why. Yeah. And so I'm hearing you describe your big why, right? I don't want to end up like these other people that I'm seeing. I don't want to continue to be the way I've been feeling. And then I also am thinking about other people. And that's causing me to continue, not only just make the decision to want to change, but you're also been consistent with what you've been doing. And that doesn't ever really become easy. It becomes easier, but it doesn't ever become easy. But as long as you can kind of have that big why, then that's when change is going to happen, as opposed to a little why, right? A little why would be, I have a wedding this summer, and I know I have to wear a dress, and I want to look better in a dress for this wedding.
Right.
That might help for a couple days.
Right. Oh, it's helped for a couple days, and then I'll start the next Monday.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the why has to be much bigger, and most of the time it has to be about other people, something outside yourself, which is what you described with your grandchildren and children.
Yeah. How does, okay, so I guess I'm making assumptions here based on already knowing some of the backstory. How does that why and your mindset this time around, how does that look different from previous times that you've tried to do something or get healthy?
I think a lot of my motivation has been I want to be skinny or look different,
Mm-hmm.
and that doesn't happen very fast.
Yeah.
Usually. And so it's hard to stay motivated. I think it's just hard. I think putting it out, I put it out on Facebook in January that this is my long 2-page letter of what I want and what I know I need to do.
Yeah.
And so then I had people reach out and offer to help. And so I think the community element of it and the support element of it and having people remind me it's not just about the pounds or not just about looking better,
Mm-hmm.
but it's about all of it. The feeling better, the looking better, the being able to be active with my family. It's all of it. And that's a constant reminder. I have to tell myself some days you're getting healthier, so it doesn't matter what the scale says.
Yeah.
Quit obsessing about the number and that's hard to me. You want the payoff.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the difference in success is having it out there and knowing people know. Because
Sure.
I could try 1,000,000 times myself and not really tell anybody. And then nobody knows when I'm
It's true.
having Oreos on Monday afternoon. Monday morning went really well, but Monday afternoon,
Yeah.
I want what I want again. So I think having the community and having the support has been huge.
Yeah, for sure. So walk us through what it's kind of looked like. What have you been doing over the past 7 months?
Making the commitment, writing it down, getting support. Then, I've tried several different things, adjusting things like what's working with my day and what's, as far as eating, fruits, vegetable. I shouldn't even start with fruits. That gets to be on the bottom. So, vegetables, protein, meat, nuts, eggs, and good protein and vegetables, lots and lots of vegetables, and some fruit, which is like dessert now. So, lots of water, changing my sleep habits most of the time, exercising, which is a new thing. And yeah, just being committed. I started with the gym, 1031, and did the trim down, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Very intimidating to come to a gym for the first time.
For sure. So, yeah, I guess that little piece right there. This did kind of start with like a nutritional weight loss challenge.
Mm-hmm.
But what I think is super interesting about how you responded to that question was the order of which you said things. The first thing you said was this mental stuff, this motivation, getting accountability from people, community, like that was your first point.
Mm-hmm.
Then you said food. Then you said sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And the last thing you said was you did some exercise.
Right.
And I think that's a pretty solid order.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. That's very cool.
And it might not even have been, you could speak to this. You were somewhat educated on what you needed to do because you had already done stuff previously, but you didn't know everything,
No.
right? But you didn't let that say, well, I just don't know everything that I need to do to make the changes. You were like, well, I know it has something to do with exercise. I know it has something to do with the way I'm eating. So I'm going to get my mindset right, put this out there. Like you said, you chose Facebook to do that, received good feedback from it, and that, again, allowed you to take the first step. But then after you took that step, then you started to continue to learn more and more about what you needed to do, get help from others, stay motivated.
Right.
So it's definitely been a process with you for sure, but maybe you could speak a little bit more to that.
I think that's the part of putting it out there. And I told you guys before that, like, I posted it and then just started to cry, like, oh my gosh. I just put that out for everybody to see. And what if I change my mind? And what if I fail? And what if I don't really want to do this? But now it's out there, and so I could delete it real quick. But then just being able to, you have to humble yourself, and people offer help, and it would be easy to go, no, I kind of know what to do. I'm good, but thank you. I think you have to just say, yes, I need help, because I obviously don't know what I'm doing clearly, because it's not been working. And so asking people for help, and so I had people helping me with workout, people helping me with diet and nutrition, and met with a pharmacist friend that helped me understand the prescription medications I was on and which order and how to go off of those, and talking through like the sleep thing and the water thing, and finding people who do know and who've had success that's lasting and not just the next. I'd be great with going on finding the fastest way to lose weight and doing it, instead of just finding people who know what they're doing and who understand things way better than I even can begin to pretend to. So I think, finding people to support you that know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm curious to know how much has changed in your overall lifestyle. So what I mean by this is, the big thing you were just saying is you got yourself around people who were giving you good information that you didn't necessarily have.
Mm-hmm.
But besides you weren't spending time here at the gym previously, how much else has really changed? Because it seems like you're kind of already surrounded by people who, that's kind of how people had access to you when you put that out there. It's people you knew and trusted.
Right.
I guess that's my question. Has it been this drastic lifestyle change as far as what you're spending your time on and all this stuff, or has it kind of found you more naturally? I guess I don't know.
I think it feels like a drastic. Things feel drastic because I think I feel a lot more restless if I come home and just sit after work.
Okay.
Or I don't take the elevator at work, and I changed jobs from a 3-story building to a 10-story building, and so when I deliver things, it's 10 stories, and sometimes that's 3 times a day. So just thinking about that, I think some of the mental is still taking time, and it's going to take lots of time just to work its way out. But the choices, you really start to think, what am I eating?
Sure.
You start to think about I don't know if it's Friday, that I was laying in bed, the alarm went off, and I was I changed the alarm to 7 when I would normally get home from the gym, and was I could just sleep in. I'm really tired, and I can take a rest day. It's okay.
Right.
But then I was laying in bed thinking, it's a lot of trips up the stairs today to make up for the gym. Just get up if you're going to lay here and think about the things that you're going to have to do instead of going. So I think just the desire to be active, riding bikes with my husband Kyle, and going for walks and doing lots of other things, and then really thinking before. I've been able to enjoy some things, but I don't have to enjoy them every day. So I think that's a huge, you realize some of your bad habits when, with my kids, I've realized, and we've talked about it, just, we went to the park and we went for a walk. Now we should go out for ice cream. And just realizing, we don't have to do that. We don't have to celebrate with food all the time.
Yeah.
I can celebrate really exciting things and enjoy them, but it doesn't always have to be with a sweet treat.
Sure. Yeah. So, were you saying there?
No, go ahead.
Well, one of the things that I can't remember if it was before or after we recorded the first time, but Lynn had texted me one day, and she said, "I just went for a bike ride." This is the first time that has happened in like 10 years or something.
At least, yeah.
You can't see it right now, but Lynn is in her biking clothes because she rode her bike here today.
Good.
Nice.
So even from our last episode, we've been still new things happening every day, it seems like.
Yeah, that's the exciting part, I think, is realizing you can do something. I can do some things that I couldn't do before.
Yeah.
And feel a lot better. I mean, we talked about moving my daughter out of her college dorm, which was 3 stories. And when we moved her in, I walked up those stairs once and sat and kind of helped organize the room. And when we moved her out, I made 14 trips up and down the stairs and was totally fine, not gasping for air.
Yeah.
And so it was really, I mean, those are the little things that I appreciate that are just changed life.
Yeah.
For sure.
No, what I was thinking about though is, I guess how I understood your question was like, did you have to? I think a lot of people think if they are going to make a choice to live a healthier lifestyle, like they have to get rid of all their friends that don't care about their lifestyle, or they have to, they hate exercise and now they have to go do something every day that they hate. They never get to enjoy anything that tastes good anymore. They just have to eat all this stuff that's awful for them, tasting anyways. But I don't think that's been your experience at all.
No, I think you find, I mean, I like just about anything almost. So I think finding things I like, it hasn't felt, I don't feel deprived. I feel very satisfied with eating. I mean, we've talked about the fats and eating vegetables and avocados, and I mean, I am very satisfied that way. But as far as changing friends, no. I mean, it's interesting to work with seniors, and they're like, why don't you take the elevator? We have an elevator. Or they had a potluck, and I had brought vegetables, and they're like, look at all those desserts. Look at all, all this food. And I was like, I am so good with what's right here.
Yeah.
But thank you. So they don't understand.
Right.
But they ask. But no, I mean, I make a plan. Go to missional community on Wednesday nights, and if there's going to be something that's for Maine that isn't something I can do, make a plan.
Yeah.
We had breakfast last week, and I wasn't sure. It said quiche and French toast. So I made egg cups,
Yeah.
It was, so you make a plan and work really hard to make sure you're not left without something. I took almonds on the plane, so I wasn't having honey roasted peanuts or whatever, pretzels or whatever.
Yeah.
Making a plan.
And so how about the exercise? Like, would you say you at least somewhat enjoy exercise? I mean, you obviously rode your bike here. I don't think, somebody forced you into doing that.
When I first started, I hated it. I would have said I hated it forever. I hate it. Now, somebody asked me about getting some high. No, I don't get a high. I'm not like, whoa. But I miss it when I don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I went on vacation and I was like, well, I'm just going to get up and walk every day. We walked one day, and it was Houston, and it was very hot and humid, and I didn't walk. I mean, I relaxed. But when I came back, I was like, okay, I'm going to be back on this day. Like, what's my plan to pick up instead of just getting comfortable not? Now I think I would say I like it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of it. Not burpees.
Like it enough to be doing something special this coming Saturday, I think.
Oh my gosh.
So, something we can kind of tease here. Lynn is participating in her very first, I suppose I can't call it CrossFit, high-intensity, constantly varied functional movement competition this Saturday.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And Alex and I will be there and all that jazz, but
They'll be rocking it.
I am most excited for What's your team name?
Fit fannies with fit grannies with firm fannies.
Nice.
Our goals are we want to have fun, we want to finish, and we don't want to get hurt.
There it is.
That's great.
So not that we think competition and like the sport aspect of this is the greatest thing in the world, but not that anybody forced you to do this. It was just kind of like I'll just ask you instead of answering it. Like how'd you decide to do this?
I'm 49 years old. And you always see people that are like, when I hit 50, I'm going to run a half marathon,
Sure.
or I'm going to do this. And I run or jog here once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
I do not like it at all. It feels like I'm pulling a sleigh. It hurts my knees.
Yeah.
I don't like it. And I was like, I am never going to run a half marathon.
Mm-hmm.
I'm feeling 99.9% sure that'll never happen. But then the showdown came up, and just kind of thinking, I could maybe do that. Like, I don't want to, I have to be careful, because in my mind, I'm like, oh, I don't want to embarrass Jared. He trains me. I don't want to embarrass my gym. Like, can I really do this? And then realizing, like, I can go and I can finish, and I can do some of the stuff relatively well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard when you're working out with 20-somethings all the time, but I can do stuff relatively well for me, doing this 7 months, and so that I can do.
Yeah. I completely agree. Yeah,
I'm a little nervous, so
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, that's cool. And you're competing with somebody else who's done some awesome things with their health and had huge change, and is definitely inspirational in her story too. So
a big
cool to see both
inspiration
you guys.
for me. Just she was one of the first people that somebody said, you need to talk to Bobby. I don't think she'll mind.
Yeah.
Hi, Bobby. That she's overcome some health issues and really made huge strides. So
yeah, for sure. So this has obviously been kind of hit on it, but much more far-reaching than just weight loss. So what has your experience been like, kind of having your picture of health expand?
Learning, I guess. Well, I'll start with going off of 3 medications. I've tapered down on the 4th medication. So that's exciting. You save money. The impact those had on my health that wasn't good. Those are out of the picture.
So pause.
Yes.
You're telling me you're spending less money buying real food than you are on your prescription drugs?
Yes, and supplements.
Okay,
yes.
cool. Oh, wow, real food and supplements.
Yes.
Okay.
So being off of medications has been good. Going to the doctor for, I just went the last time I think we recorded, and he said, don't come back for a year, which was a new thing.
How often?
He seemed a little disappointed, but
You just like seeing you so much.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, we won't get into that. How often were you going though?
I was going every 3 to 6 months.
Yeah.
So, he said don't come back for a year, and we'll see if I feel like it. Anyway,
Yeah.
So, that's been a really good thing. I think just being able to have conversations, even with friends or family, about health, and just understanding a little bit more. I mean, funny things. Like I have a friend, and actually a son, I won't name his name, but that has like terrible heartburn issues, and like understanding that I don't have to take an over-the-counter thing. I can do apple cider vinegar in the morning, and I have never had a problem with heartburn again. It takes a while to convince people because they don't want to do that, but now it's just, finding some natural things to do to change how I'm feeling versus looking for the quick fix.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. Because as much as we, talk about how it is a lifestyle, and we're trying to get away from just treating a symptom, those type of things, like most people aren't just going to have this huge understanding of what health is, and then that's what's going to motivate them to make changes. It probably is going to be, I don't like how I'm feeling, or I want to lose weight, or whatever it may be, and they make a change, but then it just expands from there. Then they start to dive into all these other things that you would think are unrelated to weight loss or just feeling better. Which is what we're trying to teach. We had a whole episode on education. Education is one of the ways that keeps you going, that keeps you staying motivated as you're learning, as you're growing in your knowledge of what a healthy lifestyle is. That's what's going to help you not only stay on it yourself, but also just be encouraging to other people to adopt this sort of thing.
Yeah,
right.
For sure.
Making the correlation between whether I'm moving does impact how I feel, and what I'm putting in my body does impact how I feel. So, we talked about this before, that like wanting to feel a certain way, but not wanting to do any of those things, and then realizing like, no, it does matter. Like, if I'm doing things that aren't good for me, I'm going to feel pretty crappy.
Yeah.
Because now you know the alternative.
Right.
Whereas you might not have had that gauge before.
Right.
You're just kind of like, this is just how things are.
Right. Well, and it's very easy to slip into that because it does feel like, well, this is just how it is.
Mm-hmm.
And accept what you've been told is your
fate.
Yeah. And I would say challenge it a little bit.
Yeah.
Push back and see what you can do.
So, what would you say? So, you said continuing to learn and continuing to expand this knowledge and how this is put into practice and stuff. Do you have any goals that you're still looking towards, or any bigger things than what you've already accomplished? I think I asked you this last time, but I don't remember what you said.
Okay. I don't remember what I said either.
Let's find out.
I would say yes. I want to lose weight and get more fit. So those are, probably more fit even before realizing, okay, the number on the scale doesn't matter. I have an ideal in my head, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's where it'll end up or even what's important. Mm-hmm. Realizing I want to be able to move better and faster and do more with my body than I thought I could. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's definitely a goal. And I think, I don't know, we'll see after the competition what I want to do. But just being more active. Every day. My goal is to keep doing it and not find a reason to quit. Staying mentally strong and not getting tired of the days that I'm tired or the days that just to keep going is my goal.
Cool. That's very cool.
Yeah, to develop habits. It's kind of, again, that just goes back to what we were saying before. It might start with you want to lose weight. You might have really good reasons for that. It might be a big why and about other people, but then as it expands, and maybe after you've hit the number you want to hit, it can't stop there, right? So it's got to be now, okay, I see this is a lifestyle that I feel like is the best way to live and for me to be healthy and thrive. So my goal is just to continue doing that. I think that's the best goal you could probably have.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. You mentioned that you've had at least a few experiences of kind of paying it forward, like the story with your son or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Well, he hasn't taken that advice.
Well.
He said the smell makes him want to throw.
What? Do you have any? So, say you pull up your phone tonight, you see somebody in your news feed that basically has the same post that you put up 7 months ago. What do you say to that person?
I would say, let's go have coffee or water or tea and sit down and talk. I've had people ask.
Yeah.
And it's not a short conversation.
Sure.
So people want, I would say it's not a quick, it seems like it's been quick, but it's not a quick fix. Like there was no special thing to
Mhm.
take, and it all just magically happened. I would
Mhm.
say, let's sit down and talk, and what's your support system going to be, and what's your, like, you have to have a plan.
Mhm.
Would you say that the people that are reaching out to you were wanting what you just said it's not? Like, are they
Yes.
saying, oh, what program did you do,
Yes.
or what did you take, or whatever?
I
it may
think a
be?
lot of people are a little disappointed when I say,
But-
it's funny how eating and exercise really works like they say.
Disappointed that you've been working your tail off and it's been doing something.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean that it's not some quick shake they can drink for, you
Sure.
know, a couple meals and then have a salad. It's, yeah, I think people are disappointed about that. But then it's like, if you want to talk more, let's talk. Because you don't have to spend
Mhm.
hundreds of dollars on a
Yeah.
pill that only works
Yeah.
temporarily.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, because I think even the people that would be promoting those type of things, like they might not emphasize it, but they would still say this is not, the end all be all. This is something that's just part of, a lifestyle that you have to be doing. But people don't want to hear that part.
I don't want to hear that.
They just wish that
Right.
wasn't the case, and that they could just take something to make it all happen. And
You kind of see people's face drop when I'm kind of not sarcastic, but just like, oh, it's amazing how eating and exercising really works, like they say.
yeah.
And they're like, oh, that's it? That's it.
Yeah. I don't know how much time we have, but let's hit on that a little bit. Maybe kind of emphasize, because I think this just needs to be beat into people's heads pretty much. So you have mentioned a lot about nutrition, and you mentioned protein and vegetables and all the stuff that you eat. But you've also been doing a lot. I would say you eat a high-fat diet, would you say? Which scares people away. So let's kind of get into some specifics, like how did you receive that at first, and then from there, like what have you done to make sure that you are staying more high fat with your diet?
At first I received it very skeptical too, like, I mentioned this before. My dad died at 58 of a heart attack.
Mhm.
And so there was a part of me that just has a fear in the back of my head of like, if I take in a lot of fat, what's that going to do to me? But then realizing the fat source matters. It's not just any fat. And learning about it and understanding it has helped a lot. Well, and it works. I feel a lot better. Just so yeah, I have bulletproof coffee.
Okay.
Yum. And my favorite. And I have, for lunch the other day, some tomatoes cut up and some avocado. And so, yeah, I just find nuts, avocados, not being afraid of, like, meats with some fat and good quality, like fish or whatever. I don't do a lot of dairy, but yeah, I think it's just finding a way to put it in your diet. I don't know.
Yeah. No, that's good. Because would you say, like when you look at what you're going to eat throughout the day, you just say, okay, when I look at what I'm going to eat, is there fat in there? And if there's not, then you put it in there. Like it's not, how many calories does this meal have?
Oh, yeah.
And then I'm not going to eat that because it has too many or not enough. Like you're not worried about any of that. You're just saying, okay, I'm going to stick with real food. And then the next level is, am I making sure that there's fat in my diet?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. And I do vegetables and then like cut up an avocado to have with it. Or I like simple. So I'm not really like, I want to cook a great meal every night. My poor husband, but I'm just not like, I can't wait to cook.
Yeah.
That's not really me. So I like, for lunch, I take an avocado and cut it up at work and have it with some vegetables, or have a burger or a piece of chicken and then have some nuts as a snack. And I like very simple. So I don't want it to be too much work that I set myself up for failure.
Yeah.
So,
Sure.
yeah, sometimes we do, I have a lot of recipes that you can follow and add fat, and making my own dressings at home with avocado oil or good stuff instead of, but I like simple, so I'm not really the one to come to if you want a meal plan.
Well, and I think the reality is everybody needs that.
Mhm.
Nobody, like, whatever you see on Instagram or YouTube or whatever, like, people are not cooking like that 3 meals a day.
Mm-mm.
Like,
Right.
people who, like, sustainable life is the majority, just like
Mhm.
you were saying.
Mhm.
Figuring out what is simple, what, like, you can kind of have as a baseline, and then, every once in a while doing fancy
Right.
stuff,
Hard-boiled eggs for lunch, or I wish I had time to make an egg breakfast every morning. I don't, so that's
Mhm.
why I have the coffee and then take eggs to work, and sometimes we have eggs for dinner.
Mhm.
I love eggs. They're simple.
Yeah. So on that, you've also done some fasting. Goes along with the bulletproof that you keep
Mhm.
talking about. Like, what's been your experience with the fasting?
That on the high fat, then I'm not even hungry. So learning when I'm hungry and when I'm not, and eating when I'm hungry,
Yeah.
instead of feeling like I have to eat all the time. I don't. So if I have a bulletproof after the gym, then I'm not hungry usually until 2 or 3 in the afternoon. And so that's good. And then I go home and try to have something, even if it's something small, usually by 6, unless it's a special evening, and then not eating again until the morning.
Yeah.
Because I'm not hungry, which is
Yeah.
really a big change. I think I walked around before. I don't think we're even conscious of it, maybe, in our culture,
It's
of
just
how we walk around full all the time.
right. The clock tells you when to eat rather
Right.
than your stomach
Right.
Yeah.
And if I just want something, I should just have it.
or your head. Yeah.
So I'm just constantly filling and full, and now realizing it's really nice to walk around not hungry, but I'm not full very rarely full. I'm usually satisfied
Sure.
or hungry.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing you say there is, it's not like you're forcing yourself into, like, you wake up in the morning, you're like, oh my God, I got to fast again,
Mm.
and waiting, and I have to wait till 2, and, just stressing yourself out. It's like
No.
you've, I guess, somewhat trained your body just by paying attention to, are you actually hungry?
Mhm.
You've been able to do a lot of this intermittent
Mhm.
fasting, time
Yeah.
restricted eating stuff.
I think I wake up and I come here. I'm not hungry before I come here. So I come here, I work out, and then go home and have my coffee. And I nursed that for quite a while, and then, I'm just not hungry. So it's not
Yeah.
I don't even think about it anymore. It's just how it is.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't feel, thinking about how I used to be, or how just our culture is about just eating, or just something sounding, I'm not thinking, oh, I wish I could have that, or I wish I could eat. I'm not thinking that. It's gotten to the place where I don't think about it at all.
Mhm.
You just have a plan. So
Yeah.
when I get hungry, here's what I have. And it's
Yeah.
completely satisfying.
Yeah. I think one of the things that we've been mentioning for a few weeks when we've been talking about fasting and fat and all this stuff is, well, and some of the sugar and vegetable oils, just the amount of work your body has to do to, like, break down food, even if it's good, real food, like, that it's going to, quote unquote, slow you down. And especially when it's stuff that your body doesn't recognize, really is going to slow you down.
Mhm.
Then when you're overeating in that, like, you're just sluggish, and, like, that makes a lot of sense.
Mhm.
And so for you to say, I feel good, I don't need anything,
Mhm.
like, you've kind of, it seems like you've learned how to interpret what your body's telling you, essentially.
Right.
Yeah.
I think paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think something else I would tell somebody who asks, like, start paying attention to your habits.
Mm-hmm.
I realized if I'm on the phone, I walk to my kitchen cupboards. And so now I don't do that. The different moments where I think, oh, I need to eat something, whether it's because of emotions or because of stress or because of just mindlessness.
Yeah.
You start paying attention to what you do and really work hard not to like pay attention and go, okay, that's not good. To be on the phone and to mindlessly eat something or to eat because I'm feeling a certain way doesn't really help anything.
Nope.
Eat when you're hungry.
Right. Truly hungry, you know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, we've mentioned this, how there's kind of 3 different ways of being hungry. One might just be you like food, so you see it and want to eat it. And maybe because everybody else is eating it, you want to have it. That doesn't mean you're hungry. And then there's the emotional stuff, you know, something's going on in your brain that thinks food's going to make me feel better. But then there's actually being hungry.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't experience times of not eating, you don't even really know what that actual feeling is like.
Right.
If you're just always eating, then any little thing that your body says go and eat, you're gonna think that is being hungry.
For
and
sure.
It's definitely not the case.
For sure. So you have since you mentioned the Bulletproof a couple times, you have a unique experience of having an encounter with this kind of niche coffee scene prior to partaking.
Thought it was so weird.
Yeah. What did you think about it? Because I've heard some comments you made in years past about people coming into Dunn Brothers.
I think, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Yeah, I thought it was ridiculous. Okay, yes, I did.
Bulletproof, you
Yes,
thought?
yes. Can I have double coconut oil? You're like going, oh boy. Yes.
Or how about the people bringing in
Their own, yeah.
Their own coconut oil?
Their own, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, MCT oil. And
Oh,
thinking, oh boy.
They just don't want to make coffee? Why, if they're going to bring in all that, why don't they just do it themselves?
Why don't we have good coffee at Dunn Brothers?
Oh.
I don't know. I thought it was strange. And now I have one pretty much almost every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you thought it was just kind of some fad thing that people were
Yes.
trying? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which that is probably why a lot of people do it.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
It was on, Jimmy Kimmel or whatever, the late night shows and stuff are. It's been on all that stuff. So
Oh, really?
I'm sure lots of people know what it is.
Yes. Yeah,
Cool.
no, it's one of my favorite things now.
My
I
wife.
put a little collagen in there and
There you go. After your workout. Yeah, good call.
Awesome.
Cool. Anything else?
I don't got anything. I think this is great.
If you're interested, you can come watch Lynn
oh my gosh.
smash some faces
Oh.
this Saturday, July 22nd at the
River Center.
downtown Davenport. Summer Showdown, brought to you by 1031 Fitness. That's where we're at today, if you couldn't put 2 and 2 together. It's actually funny, we're almost always wearing, one of us, sometimes both of us are almost always wearing 1031 t-shirts. And now that we're here today, none of us are. So, you can come check that out. I'll definitely have my camera on Saturday. We've got a really cool episode planned for Saturday as well. So, a lot happening that day. But
Cool.
Well,
thanks, Lynn.
yeah,
You're
thank you
welcome.
very
Thank
much.
you guys very much.
Thanks for, round 2 of this whole jazz.
Hopefully it won't have to be around 3.
No, we're solid. It's already out there. It's done.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, we're gold. All right.
Cool.
Thank you for tuning in.
Because you're still there, Deb. Bye.